Amen.
Okay? Because he doesn't know who you are. He doesn't know what you've done, where you've been, crime you might have committed. So they're all on edge. I've heard a lot of people say, well, he had a bad attitude. Well, it's not a bad attitude, folks. It's just they're ready for anything that might happen.
Amen.
So just console them for that. May has been the worst for deaths in Florida. Had 79 deaths in the month of May. And most of the other months are pretty close, but just May happened to be the one with the most. Jacksonville, we've lost 60 police officers in the line of duty. 60. May has been the worst month, 11. Why May? I don't know. Who knows? But we know that 32 of those 60 were by gunfire. So we keep lifting these guys up, letting them know exactly, how appreciative you are for them out there putting their life on the line. And if you don't think they're putting their life on the line, you're mistaken.
Amen.
That's right.
Because they are, each and every one of them. I was proud to be a police officer, very, very proud.
Amen.
But you don't know what kind of things it brings on your family. Back when I first started, we switched every month. We had a different shift to go to. Midnight shift, evening shift, day shift. Every month we rotated. Now, at least they got permanent shifts, which is a big help, believe me. But there's some law enforcement facts. I'm going to go into a little bit of history with y'all. There's over 900,000 police officers in the United States. 900,000. 12% of those are women. Only 12%. And it says crime fighting has taken a toll. First police death was recorded in 1791. There have been over 20,000 law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty. Currently, at the Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C., there's 20,789 names on it. Matter of fact, they'll be having today, Police Memorial Day, they'll be having people from all over the United States, including JSO, that will go up there and be part of that Memorial Day celebration. So far, in the last 10 years, we've had 1,474 police officers die in the line of duty. That amounts to one every 61 hours, or about 144 a year. In Jacksonville, we have about 135 homicides a year, which is really low. If you go back to the 80s when I first started out, it was all those wars over drug turf. They had over 250 deaths, homicides in 1 year. Anyway, getting off the subject. I found out that the 1920s was the deadliest decade in law enforcement history. A total of 2,437 officers died, or an average of about 243 a year. And the deadliest year in law enforcement history was 1930, when 304 officers were killed that year. And then that figure dramatically dropped in the 1990s to an average of 162 a year. The city that's lost the most police officers in the line of duty is New York City. New York City. They've lost 705 just in that city. Texas, the state of Texas, is the most. They have lost 1,682 officers, more than any other state. And of course we in this state of Florida have lost 789. So there's 1,102 federal officers listed on the memorial, as well as 668 correctional officers. and 36 military law enforcement officers. We have to remember, these guys that are out here working in these prisons and working in the jail, they're in the line of duty also. They meet a lot of stuff in there. I started my career in corrections, so I know what it's like in there. And they have to be careful. I had a couple things that I found online, statements. One of them was from a statement by COPS, cops, and that's just concerns of police survivors, concerns of police survivors. That statement, it reads, in light of recent negativity directed toward law enforcement nationally, there is a need to show law enforcement officers that our citizens recognize the difficult and sometimes impossible career they have chosen in public service to us all. I thought that had a lot to say right there just in that one statement.
That's right.
And it is. It's very, very true. I put in here a kind of a did you know type thing. An average of between 105 and 203 officers die in the line of duty each year. 14,000 officers are injured every year. 50,000 officers are assaulted every year. Talk about police and corrections. But over 300 officers have committed suicide due to the stress of their job.
Amen.
Wow.
300. We see that officers sacrifice much in the line of duty, taking a toll unseen by the public in general. They have a high heart attack rate, a high stroke rate, very subject to be an alcoholic, and it's a very high divorce rate in the police officers. And like I said earlier, you've got to respect the wives of all police officers.
Yeah.
Because they go through it whenever the husband or the wife leaves to go to work, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. But it's up to the police officer to be prepared. Me personally, and my wife will tell you, I didn't bring the job home.
Amen.
I didn't bring the job home. She might ask me a question, I'd answer it. But I didn't bring, in where I worked mainly in crime scene investigations, preferably homicides. So there was a lot of things that I